Good morning, Mary Kay! All right, I want to hear the people in the very, very back. Yes, I see you back there. Thank you so much. Welcome to Seminar. I want to first thank so much Mary Kay corporate staff for inviting me to speak today. It's such an honor, and I don't take it lightly. So guys, let's time travel a little bit. Do you remember when you first got your starter kit? I remember the opening of my starter kit 20 years ago. It was sort of like the opening of my heart. It was like I suddenly allowed myself to dream bigger than I ever had before. And so I want to invite you to close your eyes just for a moment and go back in time. Remember when it was new? Remember when you had this genuine excitement about it? Maybe you were actually allowing yourself to believe and to dream. Now stay there for a moment. Do you feel it? Remember it. So when I first started, more than a few of my coworkers' first response was a little less than encouraging. They were like, you? I mean, that was no kidding. Multiple people said that. I didn't really know if I could do it, so I just kind of protected myself with, I just love the product. But really, it was this first seminar for me that really caused what I'll call a seismic shift in my belief. Like, I honestly couldn't believe a place like this actually existed, much less that I found my way there. I kind of felt like I had discovered Camelot. And the power of vision that I caught here at Seminar, it was so pure and so strong that on the plane ride home, I declared, I'm going to be a sales director. And my cousin declared, I'm going to earn the use of a career car. And within 2 months, I had debuted as a sales director. And a month after that, she earned the use of a career car living in a dorm room at Center College. I mean, that is the power of belief, and it can be birthed right here. Who are my brand new Seminar people? If you've never been to Seminar before, let me hear you. Okay, love seeing so many new faces. But Seminar is not in your office. And the reality is, you are going to be met with challenges where you're going to have to decide, am I going to go for it again? Am I going to go for it wholeheartedly? Is it worth it? And early in my business, there was this ice storm in Lexington, Kentucky, and Lexington shuts down when there's ice. And I had an appointment set up with a referral, and so I called her just to confirm that we're still on. Yes. I mean, honestly, I can't believe I didn't try to reschedule. I was like, are we still on? So we're still on. I couldn't get my car into the garage because of the ice. It was parked down below outside. I fell going down my driveway. I had to shovel snow to get into my car. I had to pour multiple rounds of hot water to open the handle. It was a plan B kind of like childcare day, so I had to find a neighbor to watch my kids, and I had to drive on ice. When I got there, I'm standing there. Oh no, it was an apartment building with one of those rickety metal set of steps making its way up to the second floor. And I'm at the bottom with my suitcases, and I'm like, oh boy. So I make my way up there. She said 1, didn't she? Let me make sure I've got the right address. Maybe she doesn't hear me. Surely she wouldn't. I mean, not in this weather. Girl, ain't nobody coming to that door. I'm making my way slowly down the treachery of ice-covered metal steps, schlepping the bags, and in gripping the rail, I look over and I realize my knuckles have split open from knocking in the cold, and they are now bleeding. It takes a lot to make me mad. I just talked to you an hour ago, people. But I do think that sometimes God protects you from some people, right? And you know what? If that's what that girl is made of, then I'm glad God blocked it at the door. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be up here telling you the story. But see, I didn't get the golden starter kit. Did any of my national sales director friends, did any of y'all get the golden starter kit? Did any of my top director friends, did any of y'all get the golden starter kit? How many of y'all could relate to a story like that? So guys, when things don't go the way you had hoped, or when others let you down, or make different choices than you would have made, or when you get your heart broken, which has happened to me more than a few times, then you must come to see that your business is not as an end, but it's a means by which you grow, which therefore unlocks everything else, including your next why, which probably evolves over time. And so guys, while the victories are sweet and they feel really, really good, it's the valleys where the wisdom is birthed and shows you what you're really made of. Now you may be thinking, but Julia, you don't know what I'm up against. You're right, I don't. But I know someone who does. And I know that if he has called you to it, it's done. It's just waiting for you to walk it out. And you may have dozens of problems, but you have thousands of blessings. And you become tough when your mood is not dependent on your conditions. And I had to decide that day that that girl who was maybe laughing from the other side of the door, that I would have the last laugh and she would have no power over me or where I was going. And so you may be sitting there thinking, oh, to begin again, I don't know if I can. Let's be honest. For some of you, you don't know if you want to. Now, I'm not talking to everybody. I may be just talking to a couple of you, but you know exactly who you are. I've said it so many times. Why would this time be any different? I've been in for X number of years. I'm not where I thought I'd be by now. I'm tired. I don't want to do all that again. God, since COVID, so many things have changed. I don't even know where to start. If I was your enemy, that's exactly what I would want you to be thinking. In your heart of hearts, you know those are all just lies. Can you perceive it? Maybe you're like, meh, I'm tired. Tired of what? Tired of thinking about working? Guys, some of us run so much amok in our minds. We're like so much in our heads. We're like going in circles and circles, and we're not really even going anywhere. Wake up, sleeping giant, wake up. There are thousands and thousands of you here, and you have no idea the power that lies within you. And it's why Mary Cash started this whole thing. Haven't we all heard Mary Cash's voice on hold when we call the company? And she says, if just one more woman could discover how great she really is, that would be worth it. We didn't hit the goal last time, so why would this time be any different? Because you're different. If you allow defeat to stop you, then you're missing the whole point. Guys, you'll get to the next level when you outgrow where you are on the inside. And so for those of you who are trapped in should, like, I should be further along than I am right now, or what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are masterpieces. You don't need to be fixed. You're just asking the wrong question, or you're trapped in the wrong thought. Time's got nothing to do with it, and that's missing the point. Your life is already spent out, guys. There are moments that are assigned to you, waiting for you to step into them. But you've got to give yourself permission to begin again. You've got to flip it, guys. We live so much in shame. The truth is, to begin again is actually the more powerful choice. You're not starting over, you're starting wiser. Human beings are the only creatures on the planet who can live one way for 40 years, clap their hands, and decide, no more, I'm changing the story. So is it worth it? That depends on you. What do you want? Who do you want to be? Who does it matter to? You know, there was a red jacket in Linda Tupin's national area. Linda said that when she died, her children laid out her red jacket and her pins and her ribbons. And when asked about it, her children remarked, of course they laid them out. That was the happiest time of her life when she was in Mary Kay. Last week, Mary Mullins in my unit, she had 7 appointments booked. Now, Mary's busy. Mary's got a bunch of kids. And I asked her, so how does it feel to have 7 appointments? And without hesitation, like that, she said, I feel like I'm living in my potential. I feel like I'm living in my potential. What would that feel like? Close your eyes for a moment again. I want you to imagine future you, a you who's living in her potential. Can you see her? What do you look like? What does it feel like? Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? Now connect that vision of future you with the dreams that you once held when you first began your business. What does that version of you, the one that's living in her potential, what does she want to say to you right now? And what's a small step that you could take, like daily accountability or a daily win or a daily reminder? I want to end with a story. When my son Levi was 4 years old, our whole family rode bikes in Bike Lexington. Now, Bike Lexington, it's like basically like 1,000 people on bikes riding through the city, kind of like a parade. And I don't even know how this happened, but we kind of went from like a family of 5 riding bikes together to like we kind of lost the rest of the family. And then it's just me and Levi. And then me and Levi went from suddenly the middle of the pack to like overnight, suddenly, boom, it was just me and Levi at the very, very end of this whole 1,000 bike thing. So Levi's 4 and he's like riding his bike and he's like, giving it all he's got. And I turn around, right behind us are 4 motorcycle policemen, followed by 2 police cars, all of them flashing, like silently flashing their lights, followed by 10 miles of traffic, all of which are going at the rate of Levi. One officer, he was standing guard at a side street, and he said, "He looks like he's in hot pursuit." And so Levi's riding his bike, he's just giving it his all, and we kind of began going up this gradual hill, but his face like starts to panic because it's getting harder and harder. And let me paint a picture for you. The next last bike was way up there, and then way down there is this little 4-year-old kid on a bike followed by 6 police and 10 miles of traffic, okay? So Levi, with like the pressure of like the police behind him, he's giving it all he's got, but he's getting worn out. And he's like, "This is hard when this is over." And I'm riding right beside him. I'm like, "Buddy, come on. You got this. You got this. It's in there. You're almost there. I know you can do it. Keep going." Strangers have lined up and down the street. They begin to realize what is happening, and they all begin to cheer for my son. And it was just like this scene in Facing the Giants where he's like, "I don't know if I can. How much longer?" And I'm next to him. I'm like, "You got this. A little bit more. Almost there. Don't quit. Keep going. A little bit more. Come on." Like I knew he had it in him. And there was a crowd. They all were cheering. And it was a scene just like all of this. And I believe when God put this dream in Mary Kay Ash's heart and she dared to follow through with it, that he wanted an incubator, that he wanted a culture that reflected the joy of heaven on earth, a place where just as I was pouring belief into this little 4-year-old boy who would have given up otherwise, women likewise would find it within themselves to go further than they ever believed they could, lest they not give up. The truth is, we're always on the anvil. And I'd rather be on the anvil here in a place like this with all of you. I've always said that Mary Kay is just about the safest place for a woman to fall, in the arms of a loving community to gently pick you up, dust you off, and set you back up to reclaim your power to go out again. So whether it's bloody knuckles or a broken heart, if I had to call 100 people to find you so you could be here, that would be worth it. I pray that you would garner the strength to access the power on high, to break the lies, to imbibe the power that lies within you, to choose to go out and do it one more time. I love you. Thank you. Have a great rest of your seminar.
Let's hear it again for Senior National Sales Director, Julia Burnett.